Hey guys, Chris Linton here from TribeFit, and today we're absolutely blessed to have such a legend with us today, Liv Urban. That's how you pronounce your last name, is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic, Liv. And first and foremost, where are you calling in from today?
Today where are we? West of Brizzy at Rush Creek.
Beautiful day up there.
Yeah, it's wicked, beautiful, nice and hot.
Fantastic. Cool. Well, I guess in terms of everyone that's watching this interview, today we're going to be going through sales and pretty much getting some tips, some techniques and some tricks from Liv. Liv's obviously has an online fitness business, working within an online fitness business and really focusing on the sales aspect, the client management side of things. And I thought it'd be awesome to get her on the call. So appreciate your time, Liv. And first and foremost, absolute badass tat you've got there on your arm, your shoulder. Unfortunately, I don't have any to show off as badass as that. But cool, we'll get straight into it. So first and foremost, Liv, hats off again. Yesterday, phenomenal goal. I think 4 new clients yesterday. Was that right?
Yeah, it was 4.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I guess on almost a daily basis, you're more or less getting at least 1 client, if not more than one. That'd be correct. Cool. All right. Well, in terms of, I guess, yourself, I know you've been working in this space for a while, and you've obviously been getting clients and converting clients for a while. When you first started off having the calls, the concept calls, the application calls, how have you found that your approach has sort of evolved from the beginning to where you are now, and how do you feel that's helped improve, I guess, your conversions and the whole space?
Yeah, that's a really awesome question. So I think when I first started, I sort of took the approach of coming into it as sales. So for me, that was confronting because I don't see myself as a salesperson. So yeah, that was really confronting for me. I didn't know, I couldn't really roll with that.
Yep.
It's just, I just hit walls like daily, lose my flow and just sort of come across as that sales approach. But for me now, it's really about engaging with the client and connecting with them and what they need. So basically just connecting with them and having that approach that, you're there to help them rather than selling, so to speak.
Awesome. Cool. All right. And I guess to go a couple of steps back. So had you had much experience with sales in the past, or you're kind of just winging it when you first picked it up?
Yeah, totally winging it. Totally. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Cool. And in terms of, I guess, yourself, so I know a lot of people when they're first starting off, and like you said, can feel a bit strange. Having a script obviously can help give you a bit of a flow, but do you now rigidly follow a script, or how have you kind of felt you vibed it with that?
So in the beginning, definitely I followed a script. For me, it was about getting comfortable with that. So not changing it necessarily, so keeping the structure, but just developing your own language and what's comfortable with, with you and how you talk. If you sometimes, reading off a script, it can be, odd if it's not your wording and stuff. So basically I did start with a script, but I've just sort of changed it to suit how I can roll and how I can engage with the person on a personal level and connect with them naturally rather than sound, robotic or salesy or yeah.
Absolutely love it. And that's everyone I speak to who's starting off in this space. Having a script is kind of like the crutch. It gives you that confidence of, getting not losing your way or getting pulled off. But once you once you do get that confidence, as you said, 100% your results always improve, because you can, by following the script, you can unfortunately become a bit wooden, a bit robotic, because you're kind of thinking about what's coming next off your script versus actually listening to the person.
Definitely. Yeah.
Totally love what you said there. In terms of, I know you mentioned, it would have been a couple of weeks ago, but I know, or maybe a couple of months ago, you mentioned that you had a bit of a mental shift in regards to, like you said, rather than selling the person more as a result of them being on the call and seeing it as an application call and making sure that it is a perfect fit rather than seeing it as a sales call. So in terms of that sort of mental shift, what could you, I guess, elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, so not everybody that's going to come to you is going to be a good fit. Basically, for me, it's just, again, just engaging with them, and just making sure that, you know, you're going to be able to work together. Some people aren't ready to step into that. So again, engaging with them and just seeing where they're at. You know, you can get a feel for if they're, you know, potentially going to drop off, or whether they're really serious and ready to just put 100% in.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I think pretty much what you said just then is hit the nail on the head. Not everyone is going to be a fit. At the end of the day, if you go into it with the mindset of selling, you go into it with the mind frame of every single call you need to make a sale. And unfortunately, there's not going to be a fit sometimes. And you need to be able to relax, acknowledge that it's not a fit. And then that allows you to get out of that kind of sales mentality of you just got to close them no matter what they say.
Yeah.
You're not really listening to what they're saying or anything like that to see whether it's a fit. So that's awesome.
Yes.
I guess in terms of people, when you do get on a call, when people don't open up, you know, you probably find different personalities and all that sort of stuff. How do you feel, or do you have any tips or techniques that you found that help people kind of relax into the conversation and not see it as a hard sales sort of combo?
Yeah, most definitely. Just talking about them, like I always, you know, ask them about how their day is going, what they've been up to, just sort of break the ice, you know. When they first pick up, they might be a little bit apprehensive and, you know, you might even be a bit nervous yourself. But if you sort of just go into it, hey, you know, how you going? How's your day? Get into what they're about, you know, take it away from the direct sales and get into them, and just engaging. Yeah.
Spot on. And even though they are, I've found, and a lot of people say, even though they are application calls, people know what you do. They know the information because they've been conditioned over years of, you know, I don't know, how am I going to say this? People that just ring, you know, private numbers and try and sell you phone contracts or sell you URLs to your websites or insurance or whatever. People are kind of conditioned to thinking, oh, I'm a bit hesitant on the phone sometimes or whatever it is. And I think, like you said, as long as you can help people relax, feel comfortable, and realize this is not going to be a sale, then it does become that sort of conversation.
Yeah, most definitely. And just being, you know, easygoing and you know, back to the script, not have that robotic sort of approach, just, you know, be human and engage with them.
Yeah, awesome.
Fully.
All right. Well, in terms of, I guess, yourself and the experience you've had, obviously you've, you know, hundreds of online client sales over that time. Have there been any sort of pitfalls that you felt that you fell into and had to overcome to get to where you are today that maybe someone listening in on who hasn't done any sales calls or only done a handful, they might sort of run into and how to overcome them?
Yeah, definitely. So I think believing in yourself, like I think, you know, if you go into it nervous and doubting yourself or doubting, you know, your product or whatever, I think having that 100%, you know, belief in yourself and what you're doing, that's the biggest thing. So, because people pick up on your energy, that basically they're buying you. So whatever you're bringing into that call, if you're believing in yourself and believing in what you're doing, basically I think my pitfall was, you know, getting too stuck in my head about how I'm delivering it and you know, the script and all of that. So getting caught up in yourself it can be the downfall rather than, you know, really just believing in what you're doing, believing in yourself and just engaging with them. So taking it away from you and focusing on what they need and what you can do for them.
Yeah. No, cool. No, that's spot on. And it is true. It's hard to teach straight off the bat, but it is in essence, you just got to listen. You open your ears, listen to people. They tell you what their problems are. And if you're actually listening and you're not kind of thinking while they're talking, you kind of think, what question have I got next? And you actually engage, it's spot on. Also,
yes,
as you mentioned, that 100% belief. And I know a lot of a bit fearful of jumping on the phone. And one of the tips and techniques I tell people is if you've got a call coming up, check out some of your own testimonials. If you've got video testimonials, you've got written testimonials, if you're feeling a bit fearful, watch and read them before the call. And then you know you're actually doing good shit and helping people. And then when you jump on the call, you have that belief of, hey, I'm actually here to help. What I do actually works. And exactly as you said, that energy, even though you might not verbally think you're communicating, it'll come through. Well. So, not to steal your thunder, I know I'm talking way too much, but in terms of, do you have any tips? Like, do you have any kind of one-liners for anyone that's maybe done a couple of calls and thinking, I don't know if I'm any good at sales or whatever it is? Do you have any, I guess, one-liner tips of wisdom?
Yeah, definitely. Don't undersell your stuff. I think in the, back to what you just said, back to what you just asked me a minute ago, the things that I've learned along the way is basically people are buying you and they will pay whatever. So, you might have your cheaper packages rather than your expensive. So the more expensive ones, sorry. But I found in the beginning, just that mental thing, okay, you're going to sell easier on the cheaper pack. So, I think for me, it was about it really for them. It does come down to the money, but don't sell yourself short. Like, go for the top one because they're buying you. So if your energy is right, if you're believing in your product, people will basically pay whatever. That's what I found. But if, you might have to work your way if there's a budget or whatever, but basically not selling yourself short and going in for the, the low all the time. If, hard to explain if, put it to words, but, people pick up on your energy and no matter what it is, they'll go for it if the energy's right and if they're ready, because sometimes they're not ready. But, not selling yourself short and having that belief in what you're doing and that confidence in yourself that you're, you're there to help them, you're there to give them the best product. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah. Exactly as you said, if at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself and your services, then no one else is going to believe in. Definitely,
most definitely. You've got to have that 100% passion and belief in what you're doing and really put that through, in that conversation and, as well as engaging with them and getting into them because you're building that relationship and that trust. And yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. One last question I got for you, Liv, that just up in my mind on what you were saying then. So previously, you've done a couple of different price points for online packaging, and recently, I know you've been testing and trialing, pretty much tripling your weekly prices for your online training. Would you say?
Yes.
Here's a question for you. Would you say selling $150 a week training is 3 times harder than selling $50 a week training?
No, not at all. And back to that, because people are picking up on your energy. Basically, people will pay whatever. They will pay whatever. If they're buying you, basically, they know the packages, so to speak. But when you're on that call, they're buying you. So it's what you're delivering. They will pay whatever.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got 2 real quick questions, Liv, before we finish up.
Yeah, no, cool.
That I think might be really helpful for people listening. So when you go to jump on a sales call, do you use headphones or do you just use your phone?
No, I do. Sorry, excuse me. I do use headphones. Yeah, I find for me it just blocks out. I can totally, because you can get distracted. Like you said, if you're reading from a script and whatnot, you can, you can be potentially reading and worrying about what you're going to say next rather than listening. So I find that earphones, for me, really, help me just engage and focusing in on them and making sure I'm not missing anything. So, yeah, for me, headphones work really well. Yeah, yeah. I actually can't even do a sales call without them. Like I have tried, and it's just, it doesn't work for me.
I agree. Exactly. Going back to the point, like you said, you've got to be there, and you've got to be super attentive, and people are pouring their heart out. You've got to give them the respect that they deserve, and have full attention. Then last question: standing or sitting?
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit different. I actually walk around. I actually walk. It helps me with my flow. I do sometimes sit, but not usually, like maybe 2% of the time if I have to, like if I'm in a place where I have to. But basically, no, I walk. I just walk. I walk around, and it just helps me get my flow. I feel comfortable in myself. I'm moving, around, and I suppose I'm an active person, so it works for me. It might not work for everybody, but yeah.
I think it's great. I think I agree. I stand. I think the way you're standing rather than hunching over, your voice.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Just getting that vibe. But anyways, appreciate you.
Awesome.
I can hear your phone going off in the background. Loads of new clients to bring on board. Congratulations yesterday.
Thank you.
That was 4 new clients in one day, but it's not your first time, so I don't think it was it wasn't the first time from memory, but absolutely killing it. Congratulations. Good work. You deserve all the results you're getting, and thanks for your time, and that's it from us.
Thank you, Chris. Good to talk to you.
See you, mate.
Bye. Bye.